What's good, ladies and gents? Happy New Year. Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all so you can get notified as soon as we drop any new content on this channel. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, now this one is still boxing related, but it's more about a Twitter war. And there's been a bit of a Twitter war going on between CONORBENN and Gervonta Tank Davis. Um, from my recollection, a big part of this was due in part to what Tank said about Eddie Hearn, which, in a sense, I feel like he was more so trying to get at Eddie Hearn than CONORBENN. And as he does, it just don't seem to really like Eddie Hearn. That side of the thing, Ellaby, those guys are always sort of going back and forth, and Tank was very critical, and rightly so, of the fact that Eddie Hearn was still willing for the CONORBENN and Eubank fight to go ahead, even with the knowledge that CONORBENN had failed a drugs test, failed a PED test. So obviously, for me, in that respect, he's going after Eddie Hearn, but he's absolutely correct in what he said. That how you're trying to let a fight go ahead when you know this guy's a cheat, this guy's a drug cheat, whatever. And of course, the cheat he's referring to CONORBENN. CONORBENN responded to Tank by saying, look, you just need to focus on staying out of jail, and obviously that's talking about, there's been issues with Tank and the mothers of his children, one of the children's mothers, with police involved and all this. I don't know all the ins and outs, but there's been some accusations there, and the latest I've heard is that I think the child's mother has dropped the charges against him. So that's what it is. And then Ben goes on to say, look, you focus on staying out of prison. Called him a little man, and he told him, look, don't throw stones when you live in a glass house, little man, which in other words is referring to all the sort of scandals that Tank has been involved in, and saying, look, you're talking about me, you need to focus on yourself, focus on getting out of jail, focus on your own issues before you're coming after me, sort of thing. So Tank responded in typical Tank fashion by saying, look, you're just a cold bum. Get off the drugs, come holler at me if you're a bad man or whatever. However these guys say it. But basically he told him, look, get off the drugs, come holler at me when you're off your drugs, and I'll show you a glass jaw and a glass house. That sort of thing. So it's one of them that, yeah, it's been a little minor back and forth thing, but a lot of people have been, it has got a lot of people talking about it. There's a lot of people saying, yeah, Tank will wash him and blah, blah, blah. A lot, there's been a lot of back and forth, and it's got people talking about this as if they're actually going to fight. But to me personally, I think this is just one of those things, those war of words that happens on Twitter, and it's just going to stay on Twitter. I don't believe for 1 second that these guys are going to fight each other. I think this is one of those things where it's just going to stay on Twitter. Nonetheless, though, I think if there were to ever fight, if Tank was ever to come up to 147 or whatever, I reckon Tank is definitely the better fighter, the more skilled fighter. But by him coming up in weight would be just far too much. I think if they were ever to get it on, I think CONORBENN would just be too big and too strong for him. Because Tank is a powerful fighter. He does hit hard, but when you look at his fights, he's having to go into the later rounds. The more he sort of steps up in weight against good competition, not even the top guys like the Lopez's and the Haney's and these sort of guys. This is not even those guys, but lower tier than them, like the Pitbull guy, and even Gamboa was able to, be on one leg and get into round 11 with him. So Tank, as powerfully as he is, he's a counter puncher, a pure counter puncher who sort of boxes mainly on the back foot and catches guys with powerful counters, and that's how he gets his stoppages. And you find that the bigger the guys are and the better quality that the guys are, Tank is now having to go the distance with guys. He's not able to get these guys out there. So you put him in there with a big guy like Conor Benn, who's not the biggest welterweight, but compared to a small guy like Tank, who would be coming up, you got to go for the bigger, stronger guy, regardless of whether Ben is more skilled or not. At a certain level, you just can't deal with the size and the strength. And let us not forget that Conor Benn can punch too. He can put guys away too, and that's that higher weight category than Tank. So for me, you'd have to favour him, even if, I mean, I know it's all hypothetical, but that would be my take on it if that ever did take place. And yeah, it still remains to be seen what's going to happen also with Conor Benn on another note, because he's been he's been going after the WBC lately, saying hurry up and clear my name and all this business. And it's a bit of a cheat considering he's failed two of these tests. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. He's been going on at them about, oh, hurry up and clear my name and all this business, but it's like at the end of the day, it's not their fault, that what happened. I mean, obviously, if this thing is true that his name will be cleared and he is innocent, then I take my hat off to him. I take it back, and fair play to him. That's all good. But until it's actually proven that he's innocent, I think he's got to calm down on that for me. But anyway, let me know what you think about this Twitter war, Conor Benn versus Gervonta Tank Davis. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and